So I'm pretty sure most of us have a movie that we grew up watching and we remember it fondly. And you probably have a bunch of these movies. You know, it's one of those movies that came on cable all the time and it was always worth your time to watch. Well, sometimes you revisit those movies and they just aren't as good as you remember. And I swear, like this one hurt me. This one hurt my feelings, y'all. So let's get into it. My Science Project is the other 1985 time travel film. Although it doesn't dig as deep into time travel as Back to the Future, it probably should have, because it probably would have been better. It stars John Stockwell, who previously was in the movie Christine, and somehow I forgot that Dennis Hopper's in this movie as a hippie science teacher. Now, I gotta start out by saying, I loved this movie when I was a kid. 85, I was 7 years old. Back to the Future was one of my favorite movies. And this movie was right up my alley. It had like a little bit of everything. Sci-fi, freaking dinosaur, you know, all the stuff that a kid loves. And as a kid, I probably saw both of those movies equal amounts of times. But as an adult, I completely realized why Back to the Future is considered the much better movie. Now, just to do a really quick rundown of this movie, John Stockwell's character needs a science project. He's going to fail a class. So he breaks into a military junkyard, finds this gadget that the military has been holding on to for like 30 or 40 years that they pulled off of a spaceship. This gadget, when you connect power to it, somehow it displaces time and space, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Our main character and his buddy are gearheads, so the first thing they do is stick a car battery on it, and then shenanigans ensue from there. The problem with the plot of this movie is that it takes forever for something meaningful to actually happen. Like, I seriously don't realize how this movie kept my attention at 7 or 8 or 9 years old. Like, seriously, besides the opening scene, nothing interesting happens until the final third of the movie. Not to mention that all the characters are either bland or annoying. Another problem with this movie is the gadget itself. It's never really explained. It's also really vague as to what this thing can actually do. It does all kinds of weird stuff and it's not really explained, and it doesn't honestly make sense in the context of the movie. If you think about Back to the Future, even if the rules of Back to the Future don't make any scientific sense, they make sense in the movie because you were given a set of rules. This is what time does. This is what time travel does. This is what Marty needs to do to fix the time. This is what the flux capacitor does, whatever. This gadget is never explained, and what it does is never explained, so none of it makes sense. I seriously should have kept this movie in the realm of nostalgia because that's where it's good. Watching it now, I was like, oh my goodness, this movie just isn't as good as I remember.
Because when you're cool, the sun shines on you 24 hours a day. Oh yeah.
Like, it's not terrible, but it's just not the movie that I thought it was. This honestly makes me afraid to go back and check out some older movies that I like, such as like, you know, Flight of the Intruder, movies like that. Movies I really enjoyed when I was a kid. Of course, some of them still hold up, like Neverending Story or Firestarter or something like that. But My Science Project made me question my own memory. From what I can tell, it's not available on streaming, so it wouldn't matter if I recommended it or not. You'd have to find it, a physical copy, or find it some other way. So in closing, do you remember this movie? If so, do you have fond memories of it? And have you seen it recently? And if you have, has your opinion changed about it? Let me know. And if you like this content, like, share, subscribe, and I'll be back with more. Thanks for watching.
Listen, no one says nothing about this, okay?
Yeah, okay.